Boom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo, and I start this broadcast as I start any broadcast by giving all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait till the day that the Most High brings us back together, and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm joined this afternoon by my most esteemed Aunt Kenaniah. Shalom, my king.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Maki. Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. We got to endure.
Praise Yah. Yes, indeed. Endurance is key. I did want to get a shout out to my little shirt I had made here. Shout out to my Aunt Mello. He hooked this up for me, and just
That's
chose the
dope.
slave mind and the king mind. So take off the shackles of the slave and put on the
That's right.
mind of the king. So all praises to the Most High for that. Um,
Hallelujah.
yes, indeed. So we wanted to get into so this past weekend on the Sabbath, actually, we went out to try to reach some people, and we didn't realize that we was walking into a sodomite convention, and
Right.
they were out in mass, all manner of wickedness and evil, just on display. I mean, just completely and utterly wicked. So we were already in the book of Leviticus, so we decided to dedicate a section just for this particular subject. So let's go to Leviticus chapter 18, and we're going to do a little bit of a breakdown here um, for the edification of the people and for the esteem of the Most High Power. Uh, this is the book of Leviticus chapter 18, and the headline reads Law in Immoral Relations. So understand now, the word for this past Sabbath was assimilation, because our people have assimilated with these heathens and are doing their ways and their customs. The, right here, we see the Most High warns us not to assimilate with these people. So,
Uh,
yes,
you know,
indeed. Oh, go ahead.
land backing off what you just said, I,
Mhm.
you know, these sodomites have attached themselves to a civil rights movement
Right,
in a lot of ways in saying that they are an oppressed people the way that we are. So the enemy is tricky. He's clever. And our people don't know these words. You know
right,
what I mean? So
right,
this is for the nation
right.
to wake up and realize these things that we see these other nations doing, that's not for us.
Right. Con, 100%. And this is exactly what the Most High is about to show us in His text. This is not the way that He wants us to move. All right. So
Con,
this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 1. Uh, and chime in anytime you have something to add. Feel free. Uh,
con,
verse 1, it says, And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, now who is saying this? This is the Most High Power. Who's speaking this? This is Yahuwah power of Israel. Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. Who is the audience? The children of Israel. And
con,
say unto them, say unto the whole world? No, this is to the children of Israel. I am Yahuwah,
con,
your power. That is what he's saying. He's establishing his audience and why he's speaking to them. I am Yahuwah, your power. Verse 3. After the doings in the land of Mizraim or Egypt, where you dwelt, you shall not do. He said, shall you not do? Don't do after what you saw in the land of Mizraim, where you dwelled, where you lived, where you were captive, where you were slaves. Don't do as those people did.
con.
And he, oh, go ahead.
You know, when we were back in Shemot,
Mm-hmm.
we were looking at the similarities that
Right,
between that generation and our generation now, drawing
right,
that parallel
right,
between this wicked nation here and that wicked nation there in Mizraim. You know what I
right,
mean? So these things continue to happen. So uh, we don't change the words, right? We don't change the words because it says there Mizraim, but
Right.
we should be thinking in the back of our head that man, America's just as wicked. The father don't want me doing what they do here in America neither.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about assimilation. I had one of my elders told me about the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. The letter of the law is what the law says. The spirit of the law is what the law is meant to accomplish. So the purpose of him saying it like this is to say, regardless of what happened in the past, don't do as those people did. You were with those
Con,
people, you were subject to those people, you learned the ways of those people. Don't do those ways. That's exactly what he's establishing here. Uh, Continuing, it says, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, where I bring you, shall you not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances. So he's establishing, look, I brought you out of Egypt, I brought you out of Mizraim. Don't do as you learn there. Don't do that. I'm bringing you into Canaan, among these Canaanites. Don't do as they do.
con.
Uh, Whatever their ordinances are, do not walk in their ordinances. Because, and he's going to get into what we should be doing, verse 4.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Slakia, real quick, I want to bring another script out, and this goes on with what you're saying,
Okay.
with what we're reading rather.
Okay. Here, let me get, I'm going to pull it up. Which one you got?
Uh, Let me pull it.
Okay, here.
This is coming from well, we can read it in First Peter
Okay.
2:9. All right, but I'm gonna pull it where Peter is actually precepting this from somewhere else. But this is First Peter 2.
All right. We'll bring it on up.
Actually, yeah, First Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen race, a
Mm-hmm.
royal priesthood, a
Okay.
set apart nation,
Mm-hmm.
a people for his own possession,
Yep.
that ye may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Hallelujah.
Praise God. Yes, indeed. So he's showing right there the separation. And that's exactly what we're reading here in Leviticus. Uh, exactly. So back to verse number 4. It says, you shall do my judgments. Again, who is this speaking? He's going to tell you at the end here. You shall do my judgment and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahuwah, your power. So not only is he telling us what to do, he's telling us that he's at complete and utter liberty to do so. Because why?
God,
Because he is Yahuwah, he is our power. We are his people. All right, verse number 5. It says, you shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them, in his statutes and his judgments. I am Yahuwah. And again, he establishes who he is. Now we get into the nitty gritty. We get into HaTorah, the law.
God,
Verse number 6. It says, none of you shall approach unto any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahuwah. Now, we can get into this nakedness. I think we all understand what that is. This is for the purpose of sexual contact. This is not just a peep show. This is for the purpose of sex. This word irwa or irva,
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 Irva.
irva. Praise Yah. Nakedness is used nakedness 50 times, nakedness with H1320 one time, shame one time, unclean one time, and uncleanliness one time. Uh, Nakedness, nude, shame, prudent, what is that? Per
Pudenda,
Okay,
Pudenda, Slakia.
pudenda, implying shameful exposure, nakedness of a thing, indecency, improper behavior, exposed, undefense. So, or undefended. So, um, is that right? Yeah, undefended. I thought said that right. But again, the purpose of this is for the purpose of sex, not just let me see your uncovering your nakedness. I've seen now some of this, and the reason I'm not harping on that, but the reason I'm touching on that is because as parents, you know, in certain situations you may see the nakedness. If you're taking care of your parent, your elder parent, and you have to change their clothes, you have to give them a bath or whatever, you may
Con,
see that. So that's why this is talking about. Uh, this is why this is talking about the purpose of sex, not just for the sake of necessarily a peep show. You shouldn't be looking at your parents or anyone that is near kin to you for that anyway, but definitely not in a sexual manner. So let's continue. Verse number 7. It says, "The nakedness of your father or the nakedness of your mother shall you not uncover. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness." Now, again, who is this talking to? This is talking to the most, this is coming from the most high power. It's coming from the most high power and it's going to the children of Israel. He has established that before we get into this.
con,
Verse number 8. I mean, that's self explanatory. You don't uncover, you don't deal sexually with your father, you don't deal sexually with your mother. It is unreasonable. Verse number 8. The nakedness of your father's wife, even if she's not your mother, shall
right,
you not
right,
uncover. It is your father's nakedness. So your father's wife's nakedness is your father's nakedness because she belongs to him. She is his wife. So you're not to go and try to deal with your father's wife, even if she's not your mother. I'm sure we
and,
all remember the story of Oedipus Rex. And it's shameful that I can recall that story because we read it, I want to say, in two different grades when I was in high school or when I was in junior high going to high school. I don't know why they thought we needed to know a story about a man sleeping with his mother.
con,
But, that is a situation that is in there. Uh, I can't remember if it was Greek or Roman mythology. But either way, it was a sick display of what not to do.
con. And you know, when I hear that, I
Hmm.
think about our patriarch Reuben,
Hmm.
and I think about King Dawid's offspring as well,
Hmm.
sleeping with one of his wives. You know, who wasn't his mother, but
Right.
it was still his father's wife.
His
You
father.
know,
Yes, indeed. That was Absalom.
Absalom, wasn't it?
Absalom. Yeah,
Yeah.
Absalom. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Absalom taking and it's been said. I haven't researched this extensively, but it has been said that when one is taking over, is trying to take over the kingdom or trying to take over rulership, they would lay with the kings or with the heads' wives. So whoever's in charge, they would try to lay with the wives. So when the son wanted to take over from the father, that he may implement an act like such as this. But we see clearly that the Most High is against this manner of
Con,
behavior. You know what
con,
I'm saying? This is not something that is okay for any of the children of Israel to deal with. All right, so verse number 9, it says, "The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness you shall not uncover." So any form of daughter who comes from your father or your mother, you are not to approach sexually. It is a filthy, disgusting thing. And we're going to get more into that as we continue to read. So keep that in mind. These are all. I know we're talking about. We started this with the sodomites, but all of this sexual immorality sin is abominable. None of it is reasonable for anybody to be doing in this nation of people. Now these other
Con,
people, they do wickedness. They have no covenant with the Most High. That's their business. They that's what they doing. They're gonna be destroyed for their wickedness. But the separation that the Most High gave us, He's telling us right here, do not do this because this thing is not okay to do. Verse number 10, it says, the nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, this would be your grandchildren, even their nakedness you shall not uncover, but theirs is your own nakedness. These are your own children. These are the
cut from
children
your
of
cloth.
yes. These are the children of your children.
Hmm.
This is the next generation past the one you just had. You're not supposed to be trying to deal with them sexually. That
Right.
is a filthy, disgusting thing. It was just recently there was a case of a video that was going around on social media, and a man was dealing uh, with a child, a small child, and I guess he thought he was going to get away. So-called Negro, sad to say, and he was dealing with her inappropriately. And there was a video. I don't know how the video came about, who shot the video, whatever the case. But the man ended up in front of a judge. I don't know what happened with that story, uh, but that's been a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly. I don't know if you recall that one. Not.
Well, I was just getting ready to add, in my line of work, working with children and families that have dysfunction going on, I see this quite often,
Hmm.
where, the child has been molested, and oftentimes it's coming from the person who's supposed to be protecting the family.
Exactly.
The father, the grandfather. You know, happens more than I'd like to admit.
Yeah. That's an absolute shame. And again, this is where this assimilation comes from. This is where this is selfish behavior. You got a wife, you got a the ability to go out and get more, and yet you would deal with a child. I mean, that is just disgusting. Uh,
Con,
your son's daughter, your daughter's daughter. Don't do that. That is not okay. Verse 11. The nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, begotten of your father. She is your sister. You shall not uncover her nakedness. So your father's wife's daughter, what does that mean? That's your stepsister. That is your stepsister. Your father takes a woman, she came with a daughter, you not to be taking this girl and trying to lay with her. Because this thing is not to be done. Thus says
well,
Yahuwah, power of Israel.
Salakia, that was verse 11,
Verse
correct?
11. Hmm.
Okay, so the nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter,
Hmm.
begotten of thy father. So
Hmm.
this is your sister. It's not even a stepsister. It's a half sibling.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. Kind. Okay. So I said that incorrect. Silika. Silika. Um, yeah. So the father's wife's daughter. So this is still your father's daughter. But like
Con,
I said, it's the half sister and not necessarily the stepsister. Uh, I wonder if. Okay. Well, let's continue. I mean, yeah, I said that incorrectly, and forgive me for that. But yeah, this is your half sister. This is your sister from your father, and ironically, it doesn't mention the sister of your mother not supposed to have no other sister because your mother's
con.
supposed to be tied to your father.
It's one man.
For
Indeed,
life.
all right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So
But I guess that could happen though.
yeah,
Suppose your father passes away, you
yes,
know?
yeah, and it gets a new. She gets a new husband. So
Con.
yeah, that's a possibility. But ironically, he didn't mention that in here. But I'm pretty sure that this that will fall right under here. You know,
Con,
you would take the father, and it would be the same thing. So you just wouldn't do that. That's not conducive of
a
you
set
know,
apart people.
right, of righteousness. So, verse number 12, it says, "You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister. She is your father's near kinswoman." So your father's sister, of course, that's your aunt. You do
Con,
not uncover her nakedness. Thus far, we have covered. We up to the auntie. We've covered mother, father, brother and sister, well, sister, your children's children, your children, their children, and now we're up to the auntie. Verse number 13. It says, "You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's near kinswoman." So that's auntie on both sides, on your
mm-hmm.
father's side and on your mother's side. You shall not, verse 14, you shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother. You shall not approach unto his wife. She is your aunt. So just because she's not a blood tie to you, don't
Con,
mean I'm gonna take Uncle wife, his wife bad. I'm gonna take her.
right.
No, you shall
It's
not
off.
uncover the nakedness of your father's brothers. She of your father's brother. You shall not approach unto his wife. She is your aunt. Go ahead, aunt.
Now that's I was just saying that that's off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uncle, hey.
I can remember times thinking just what you said, like not thinking that I'm getting ready to take her or something, but looking at different women that my uncle was with, man, and lusting. But
Mm.
I was off. You know,
Looking like, man, he got him a nice one, and but it's one thing to say, wow, that's a nice looking woman. It's a whole other thing to say, I'm gonna get that woman. I
con.
don't care if she with my uncle. I'm gonna get that woman. You
Hmm.
know, it's one thing to say, oh man, uncle came up. He got him a nice looking woman. Yeah, she nice looking. What if she got a daughter or a cousin or a sister or something,
That's it, right, right, con.
something like that? That's different. But when
Yeah,
you say,
con,
you know
con.
what, I want that woman that he got. I want her.
It's
I don't
off.
care that he got her. That's where you go way left field. So let's continue. Verse 15. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter in law. She is your son's wife. You shall not uncover her nakedness. So you don't deal with your daughter, with the wife of your son, your daughter in law.
Con,
She not your blood relative, but guess what? She is your son's nakedness. She is your son's wife. Let's continue. Verse 16. A lot of this is self-explanatory. I'm just really, beating a dead horse. uh,
con,
verse 16. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your brother's wife. It is your brother's nakedness. So again, same thing with the uncle, same thing with your brother. You don't be like, man, where you get that woman from? Man, I gotta get that one. I don't want a
right.
woman like that. I want that woman. That's that coveting spirit.
Indeed, indeed.
When you look at your brother, you look at your neighbor and say, I want what he got. You shall
Hmm.
not covet your neighbor's wife. And that's exactly
Con,
what we are reiterating right here again.
indeed.
Verse 17. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shall you take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness. They are her near kinswoman. It is wickedness. Let me highlight that. It is wickedness. I love that he gave this explanation here. It is wickedness. Don't do this. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. That means you don't take the mother and then the daughter come home and you trying to take the daughter too. What in the world? That is wickedness. You are her. You
Yeah.
supposed to be a father figure to her. You don't be trying to lay with this. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, her daughter bad, boy. If I catch your daughter, I'm gonna get her. I done heard men say that.
Indeed.
I done heard men say that, just full of lust. Old men, out of shape, talking about I want to get my girl's daughter. What kind of foolishness is this? It is wickedness. That's what it is. And the Most High
Con.
made that claim here.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 18. Neither shall you take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. Now, what are we reading here? Because this is actually, let's get this, actually let's get this in scriptures here, because this one is a little bit, I'm not gonna say dicey, but it's a little hard to really understand. Let's get to 18. All right, so we at verse 18.
Yeah, con.
All right. So in the scriptures, it says, and do not take a woman as a rival to her sister to uncover her nakedness while the other is alive. So that's how they explain that, like to make basically to pit women against each other. I'm gonna sleep with this one. I'm gonna sleep with that one. I'm gonna be with
Mm-hmm.
this one. I'm gonna be with that one, and making them rival each other. I originally took this as neither shall you take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. So I took this as no, what they call the menage a trois, no
Mm-hmm.
threesomes, no two women, one man type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be trying to sleep with two women, putting them beside each other, and that type of foolishness that we see these heathens doing, where you trying to be what you see on TV or what you have seen on TV or whatever the case. That's how I took it initially. But what they're saying is, according to the scriptures, as they break it down, they say that to make them rivals,
Right.
and basically you going one to the other. Don't do that while one is living. If you're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
with a sister, uh, if you're gonna be with a sister, it's kind of like what Yaakov went through.
Yeah, con.
You
That's,
know,
that's exactly what I was thinking about.
yeah,
And we saw the dysfunction that came with that. You know.
absolutely, absolutely. So that could be exactly what he's talking about, where because you had two sisters, and granted, Yaakov did not opt for that situation. He was kind of tricked into it. Well, not kind of. He was definitely tricked into it because he served
Mm-hmm.
for Rachel and was given Leah. Then he served for Leah, and then they compounded it by adding their maids to the equation. And out of that, you get this nation of people. These 12 tribes of people. So I even with that clarity from the scriptures, I still wouldn't advise anybody to do that three-way thing, because that's not righteousness. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put myself in that position.
Con.
Verse 19, it says, and you shall not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart from her uncleanness. So this is a woman when she's in her menstrual cycle. Men get in a certain manner, and we think we gotta go there. We gotta do that. He says, when she is put away from her uncleanness, you should not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness. That means again sexually,
Okay.
while she's
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. Would that only be talking about sexual? Like, we were reading the other day, and I forget exactly what chapter we were in, but uh, you know, when someone touched something that was unclean, or
Right.
whatever, you became unclean as well. So,
Right.
we see the word there, approach.
Hmm.
Would that only be talking about sexual, or would that be covering touching as well?
Well, it says you should not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness. So, that's the general topic of this entire chapter is dealing sexually with inappropriate sexual dealings. And
Con,
that's what he's outlining. So,
con.
um, I have seen a place where everything that what a woman sit on, whatever she sit on or lay on, is unclean. Whosoever toucheth the bed or her chair shall be unclean until the evening. Got to wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. And I've seen um, another script that says, "Whatsoever she toucheth shall be unclean." So if she touching anything, because I was under the impression it was just initially it was just sit on or lay on. But now I'm thinking she can't be preparing food because it's unclean. She can't.
Indeed,
She,
indeed.
she can't get. She can't go to the water pitcher. You got the pitcher of water in the refrigerator. Pick up the pitcher and pour it out because now she done made the pitcher unclean while she in her separation for 7 days or longer if her menstrual lasts longer than that.
Con.
So yeah, these are all things Torah or instruction to consider. Verse number 20. It says, "Moreover, you shall not lie carnally with your neighbor's wife to defile her, to defile yourself with her." So again, it's back to the Ten Commandments. We see this here. Coveting again. You want your neighbor's wife. You want we talked about the uncle's wife. We talked about uh, was it your brother's wife or your son's wife?
Yep.
You know, all of these type of things. Uh, these are things that Israel is not to do. You
Con.
have to have some self control, and for the sake of serving the Most High. Verse
Indeed.
20, it says, "And you shall not let any of your seed pass through the fire to, I'm gonna say it for the sake of edification, to Molech. Neither shall you profane the name of your power. I am Yahuwah." So this is having to do with passing through the fire, is specifically with child sacrifice. So this is you shall not let any of your seed, your children, pass through the fire to this wicked one. Neither shall you profane the name of your power. I am Yahuwah. So this has to do with child sacrifice to idols. Uh, that's what abortion clinics are so plentiful in the so-called black community. That's why you got two,
Con.
three abortion clinics and all of them because they want to sacrifice your children. So these things are not to be done. Verse 22, this is the basis of this entire lesson. Uh, you shall not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. So to lay with a man as you lay with a woman, of course, that means sexually. It is an abomination. Let's get that in the scriptures here. Verses at 22. Let's get that in the scriptures. All right. It says, "And do not lie as male as with a woman. It is an abomination." So they try to say it as basically as PG as possible, but
Con.
basically don't sleep with them. Don't sleep with men. Don't have sex with men as you would with a woman. Don't do with a man what you would do with a woman. It's an abomination
Con.
before the Most High Power. And also, again, we were when we were out, we saw all manners of sideshows and freaks and women with minus, walking with shirts off, minus breasts, They done mutilated themselves to try to make themselves equal with a man, removing their breasts so they can walk in public with no shirt. Like that's such a wonderful thing. I'm a man, and I don't walk
Right.
around in public with no shirt on.
The pride of this world. You know what I
Uh,
mean? That's what that
uh,
was. That's what we were witnessing. The pride of
and
this world.
that's exactly what they call it. They call this whole 6 month, according to the Gregorian calendar, the so-called Pride Month,
God.
and that's what they call themselves celebrating. But they don't understand that pride goes before destruction,
That's right.
and that's their thing. That's what that's what they do. But the problem is our people assimilating with these people, and that's what the Most High is showing us here. Do not assimilate. Do not do as these people do. Uh, I also want to bring out Isaiah chapter 5 and verse number 20 here. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. So all of you wicked people who do this wickedness and say it's good for me to do this, woe means destruction. Destruction unto you who call evil good and good evil, and put darkness for light and light for darkness, and put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Destruction unto you who are wise in your own eyes. Oh, I have every right to do this. I'm so my idol loves me and he made me this way and this is the way I'm supposed to be. You wise in your own eyes. Destruction unto you. And you're prudent in your own sight, meaning you're right in your own sight. You make your way right.
God.
Woe unto you, destruction unto you.
God. You got time to pull Romans chapter 1?
No doubt, no doubt. Let's grab it. Grab it.
And I don't know if we need to start at verse 25 or 26.
Let's see where we at here. Verse verse 25, all right? This is what it is. Here we go.
Hmm.
It says, this is Romans chapter 1 and verse number 25. It says, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie
Hmm.
and worship and the worshiper and serve Slick on. You start over. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worship and serve the Creator, the creature, Slick out, the creature, more than the Creator, who is Barak of forever. Amen. Let me read that again. Let me read that smooth. Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worship the the serve and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed, who is increased forever. Amen. So, you want to expound on
Verse
that?
26, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Verse 26 as well, and 27.
Okay, let's continue reading it. Then we can expound on it. It says, but this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affection. For even the woman did change the nature, used unto that which is against nature.
Hmm.
The woman changed the nature, used unto that which is against nature. It is against nature to do these wicked things. And how
Indeed, that's that seeing a woman have her breast removed. You're right.
uh,
You know what I
uh,
mean? Like and feeling like that's normal, but it happens because the truth of the Most High power is turned into a lie.
right,
Right?
Absolutely.
Verse 27, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. So this is what we just got through talking about, the pride of life.
Hmm.
You spoke about, you brought that verse out in Isaiah,
Hmm.
who called good or bad good and
Hmm.
good bad.
Hmm.
This is what we see going on in this country,
Right
in this
here.
world, really.
Yes, indeed. Right here in this society, and it's nothing like being face to face with this level of wickedness, and the arrogance and the pride of these people who feel completely just in all of their wickedness. They just itching to be thrown in the lake of fire. I haven't seen them in person, but I've seen them talking about going to hell and proud of it.
Right,
Like, are
right.
you out of your freaking mind? You
You
have
know what?
any?
What bothered me, they had a video that came out last year,
Mm,
and it was some sodomites and transgendered, and they were talking to about how, yes, we're coming for your children. We
oh,
want your children to be like us.
whoa, that is sick. That is sick. That now that type of stuff. Well, that make you want to rise up.
Indeed, Doc. Indeed.
That type of stuff.
We can't be passive in this, Doc, because the enemy is not being passive.
Uh,
The enemy is here to destroy.
uh,
So,
yes, indeed.
we have weapons as well,
Yeah,
which are not carnal, but spiritual, you know?
yeah, and that's what we're dealing with right here. We get this script for the sake of edifying ourselves and our people, so that we can be so we can have an understand of what it is we are supposed to do and what it is we're not supposed to do, and give over to who it is that we serve. We serve the Most High, our power in righteousness. This is what He said is righteous. This is what I was talking about when we talked to the elder on the way on the bridge. He was talking about
Okay.
you don't agree with just because somebody don't agree with you, you feel like he said that's somebody something he said, some alien force or some stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like,
con.
what you talking about is straight satanic, because you talking about do as you will. So you don't have to see things the way that my power say we got to see things. So you can just do what you want to do. No, no, that's wickedness, and that's going to be punished with death and destruction and fire. Another script I wanted to bring out. This is actually on the thumbnail. This is Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 17. It says, "There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel." These other nations, they're not our concern. They can do
Con.
whatever they want to do. That's nothing. That's not our concern. Now, when we take over and the kingdom comes, that's going to be a different situation. There ain't going to be no whores in all the earth at that time, in the new earth.
Well, that's when the judgments come back as well, right, Doc?
Exactly. That's when we're going to, Israel going to be the top nation on the earth, and we're going to be checking everything and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will walk in these ordinances, will walk in this way. Um, Second part of this verse says, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. We know a sodomite, that's the descendants of Sodom. And in Sodom, we know what they were doing. They were doing man on man uh, abominable things. Same thing we read in Leviticus 18 and 22. You shall not lie with man as you lie with womankind. It is an abomination. Let's continue. Almost to the end of this chapter here. Verse 23. It says, neither shall you lie with any beast to defile yourself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereunto. It is confusion. So we not supposed to be dealing with these animals. That's another thing that is on the rise. These wicked people wanting to deal with animals, feeling like it's not enough to have a pet and pet it. They want to sleep with the doggone thing. And that is completely foul for the nation of Israel. For these
God.
heathens, that's just how they made. They made to be foul. That's just what they are.
Yeah, I want to say I forget exactly what country it was.
I think it was Canada.
Uh, Khan,
Yeah, I
Khan,
think it
and
was
they
Canada. They
made it.
passed the law.
It's okay, to
Con,
marry your pet.
yeah, pass that law where you can legally do this thing. They over there abusing animals in Canada. I mean, that is sick. But hey, they heathens. Like, what do you expect?
Khan,
Verse 24. Verse 24. Defile not yourself with any of these things. Let me repeat that again. Defile not yourselves in any of these things. For in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. I hear talk about who the nations are and who this and that. The nations are anybody. Anybody can be the nations. In this particular chapter, he opened it up by saying, "In the land of Mizraim, where you came from, don't do as you learned. In this land, while I'm bringing you into the land of Canaan, don't do as these people do. Neither walk in their ordinances." So the nations that he is talking about is these nations right here. But it's any nations that are doing this stuff that you're learning this stuff from. That that tell you it's okay to lay with an animal. And he said, "This don't do this. It is confusion."
Khan,
Verse 25. He said, "And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomit out her inhabitants." So when you do these wicked things, you defile the land, and the land get to a place where it don't even want you because of how wicked you are.
Khan,
We know this is the set apart land of what became Israel, but during the time this was the land of Canaan, and so that land would vomit them out. But all the land is meant it belongs to the Most High, all of it, because it is His. The whole earth is His. Uh, verse 18, verse 26. You got something on that? All right.
no, no, I did not.
Okay, okay. Verse 26. "And you shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and you shall not commit," let me highlight that, "and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourns among you." So anybody that come among the nation of Israel, y'all not gonna be able to do this mess.
Khan,
Your butt will be put out so quick. So if you don't eat rocks, you gonna you'll be out from among us. 'Cause
that's right.
we don't deal with that wickedness. Thus says the Most High Power of Israel. Verse 27. "For these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled." So these wicked people were doing all of this type of stuff. In Mizraim, they were doing this. In Canaan, they were doing this.
Mhm.
Verse 28. "And the land speweth not, that the land speweth not you out also when you defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the soul that committed them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall you keep my ordinance, that you may commit none of, not any one of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and that you defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahuwah, your power." So he's telling us here, don't do any of these things that we just read through this chapter. Any of these unsavory, wicked, disgusting, abominable acts. Don't do any of these things because he will get rid of us uh, for that very purpose.
Indeed.
All
Well,
right, that's what we had on this one. Final thoughts, Zach, on chapter 18.
you know, we read the scripts, and well, we start here. We see our people doing, participating in certain things. For one, idolatry, and we know that that turned the Abba to wrath against us.
Uh,
It led us to this wicked nation.
mhm,
Uh, Likewise, we see our brothers and sisters scattered in this abomination, what he calls abominable. You
Con.
know,
Yep.
and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Uh, but if we were to speak out against it,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Want to
do,
put up fences. They
but
want to try to
but
put up fences. Yeah.
indeed,
Mhm.
indeed, we're the ones with the problem when
Mhm.
we don't go along with their agenda, their
Right.
program.
Right.
We're
Con.
the ones with the issue. But uh, it just we're living in a upside down kingdom,
Con.
and I know that the Abba sees all. You know.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The scripture said the Most High's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. And
Hmm.
this time of year, you go outside and stand in that sun for about 5.5 seconds, and you understand how bright that sun is. That sun make a red brother like me dark.
Right. Right.
Oh, praises to the Most High. So, but yes. Really wanted to highlight uh, this particular chapter, this
God.
particular a bit of Torah, and how imperative it is to be righteous, and you cannot be righteous doing these evil things. This is what the Most High is teaching us. This is where the mindset of the Israelite nation is supposed to be. For those of us who don't know that you are of the nation of Israel, you are a descendant of the sons of Jacob. This is why you need to be doing what it is you need to be doing. This is why you need to be with brothers who understand what is written, what thus says Yahuwah, power of Israel, so that they can explain it to you. You should know in your mind, in your heart, that certain things you don't have any business doing. You don't have any business trying to deal sexually with your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, homosexuality, homosexuality, being a sodomite, doing anything gay. You have no business doing any of that according to the scripture. If you are a so-called Negro scattered to the four quarters of the earth, a descendant of the slave trade, or you have family members that were descendants of the slave trade. If you are a Bantu, a Ibu, or a Hebrew, anywhere in the world, you have absolutely no reasonable expectation to be doing this level of wickedness. Yahuwah power is against it. And whatever he is
God.
against, I am against. I will not stand with wickedness. I will not stand with sodomy. I will not stand with uh, unrighteousness. It is just
God.
it's filthy. It is disgusting, and it has no place in in the kingdom to come. Now, as far as the other nations, it certainly has no place in this nation. As far as these other nations, they're not a part of this covenant. They weren't given these laws, statutes, and commandments. We were. We are to live separately uh, on these people. And these people are supposed to see this in us and realize that we are a set apart people, that our power is greater than the idols that they deal with. So take all that into consideration. Keep all that in your mind. Learn these laws, statutes, and commandments. Walk in the way of the Most High power. and do all of his commands. This is your Akazaki Yahoo with my Aunt Kenanaya. Uh, so glad you were able to join us. I say Shalom Wabarukim. That is peace and blessings. I give all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power, Yahuwah, in the name of Yahushua, the Messiah. I say Shalom Wabarukim to the 12 tribes who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together. And we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant. Until that day, shalom, family.
Shalom, shalom, family.